Hey all. So this is the Bog Beast. I released the Bog Beast many years ago in a limited quantity, and I had intended on making it a permanent part of the Mountainking lineup. But it's there's some things about the pedal that I was struggling with that I wanted to find a way to overcome. I just, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. It's one of these pedals that you need to learn how to. Uh, you have to have a special touch for it. If you just turn it on and start banging away, you won't get everything that it can do from it. Um, and that's kind of difficult for me. I don't want, I felt like that was not a flaw, but something that I wanted to see if I could figure out a solution to, so that you could just bang away. And so this was the last prototype that I had made. I just kept making small tweaks to the circuit, trying to do somewhat just to explore the possibilities, but also to try to figure out, a way to make it require less from the player. Um, so let's take a listen. I'll tell you what the controls are. This is the attack. It's just an input attenuator. Generally, you want to have it set kind of high to get the sounds that the thing is known for. Then we have, this is the voice switch. In the middle is kind of a dark fuzz with a little bit of the weird, strange modulation, kinetic, harmonic thing going on in the background, which is kind of cool. It's like, it's great if you're looking to add something to your bass, but that's in the background, so it's like this, I don't know, this thing that's happening underneath of it all and not so in your face. Just giving the bass more, more of an animated timbre or sound, whatever. And then we have the two resonant modes. One is, they're kind of separated by what frequency range they're working within. And we have this is, it's kind of a filter control, but not really. It alters when this is in the middle position, the non-resonant position, it works like a low pass filter. But in the resonant modes, it alters the resonance and the frequency of the resonance. And then we have just output. So let's listen to it. Let me say one more thing. I was going to wait, but I might as well just talk about it up front. I added to this a special little circuit, little passive pickup simulator circuit with a uses like a transformer as like a kind of a substitute for your pickup. The idea of this circuit is that some buzzes don't like being driven by a active circuit, a buffer or whatever. They like just the passive pickup signal coming through. And I added to this, and it ended up having, it's very strange. It actually, when it's engaged, it it does it works the opposite. Like this pedal kind of almost works better when driven by a an active circuit. It's very strange, and it's probably not something I need to go into great detail. But you're gonna see me going inside of this and flicking a switch and showing you how that alters the sound and everything. So, all right, let's just check it out. Now, let me. It's not as noticeable in this mode, but you can hear that strange harmonic animation thing going on. Now I'm going to show you a big part of this, like I explained in the beginning, is touch. If you pluck lightly, you get all these weird, awesome artifacts from it, and whereas when you dig really in, it kind of goes away. And so. Now listen to it. Here. Alright, so that's not the most exciting mode of operation, but like I said, it's cool because it's a way to like just kind of get your bass growly and dirty, and then add this thing in the background. But then we can do this. This is where it gets its name. What you're actually hearing is it's a unique circuit. Every time I look at the schematic, I'm like, why did I come up with this? Like, I don't. It's an odd. It's very simple as usual, but it's got this odd little thing that I just experimented and said, oh, what will happen if I do this, and what will happen? And it's actually essentially trying to divide the frequency down so that like chirpy weird thing is actually like if you trying to think of a pedal that when you divide a frequency down, you almost always, as long as it's like an analog and it's not like some DSP, you're almost always you have to turn the signal into a square wave first, and then you can divide it down with a flip-flop circuit or and when you do that, the lower it gets, the more clicky it is, because you're hearing a square wave at a slower rate, and it starts to, if you turn it below hearing, all you hear is because you're hearing just the edge of, anyway. As you can hear, your attack is really has determines a lot how the pedal sounds. All right, let's listen to it like this. So, with it set the way it is, as far as the switch that's inside here, this is where, if you don't use a light touch on the strings, the effect kind of goes away. Whereas in the other position, it's more forgiving to that. All right, let's listen to this position. It's probably harder to hear the modulation. It's like high pitched and in the background more. Let's listen to it. Here you can hear that the effect is more pronounced, and I can dig in more without lessening that effect. If you have the attack set low in this mode, it gets a bit gated. There's this one sweet spot that really brings in the craziness. Now, if you're not listening with headphones, you're probably saying, wow, that's really bright sounding. Isn't this for bass? There's tons of low end coming out of this thing right now. It's just, if you don't listen with headphones, you don't hear those subs. It's awesome, right? Yeah, it's funny. When I dug this pedal up just recently, and it didn't have a name on it, I was like, "What the hell is this?" Oh my god! Like, what could this be? And I thought it was actually a prototype of my Square One pedal. It's like the Square Wave pulse width thing pedal. And then I plugged it in and I was like, that's right. I put the name on there for the video, so. Alright, I know what you're asking, or wanting to ask me if you could. What does it sound like on guitar? Well, kind of like the Avalanche, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. It really kind of needs the signal from bass to do its thing, but not as much as the Avalanche. Let's see, this should be more pronounced. Get some frequency LSD type sound. Not as intense, but some of the frequency LSD sounds are not as intense as the other ones. Anyway, like I said, it's not it's not really, it's kind of cool on guitar, but it's not, that's not where it shines. So it was interesting because, after I dug this up and started playing with it, and I was like looking at the schematic and stuff, and I was, I instantly thought about the Avalanche because A, it's a bass fuzz, B, the sound that comes out of it has a strong, kind of overdriven, but mellow, tone-wise sound going on. And then there's this weird, unique, upper harmonic, fuzziness going on, in both of them. And whereas this, it's more animated. And on the Avalanche, it's there. You hit your strings, it's there. It kind of is affected by the envelope of your signal, but not as much as the Bog Beast. And on top of all that, there is yet another circuit, another pedal that is this taken to the extremes. It's actually not the same circuit, but the effect is very close. But like I said, I haven't decided on the name yet. Right now, it's just called the Son of the Bog Beast, the SOBB. But it's more like an envelope filter and a fuzz put together, like intense, awesome, weird craziness. And then I kept thinking like, oh well. If I make available all three of these pedals, the Avalanche, the Bog Beast, and then the son of the Bog Beast, which it's not really an accurate name because it's not like it's the same circuit. Anyway, is that gonna? I feel like people are gonna be like, "Whoa, so there's 3 pedals and they're kind of similar," and it's like, yes, but they're, I don't know. Sometimes you got to think about these things. You don't want to confuse people, and you want to, make sure people can be like, okay, so which one do I want? That one. Okay. um. Anyway, so what's gonna happen now with this? I don't know. I just, like I said, I dug it up and it kind of brought back all these memories and it got me thinking about the pedal again and what, releasing it and stuff. And I don't know. You know, I got so many other things, and I say it all the time, and I'm sick of hearing myself say it. Is that I have all these designs that are just sitting around. I mean, look at this. This is how many years old? It's probably like 5, 6 years old, and it's I almost forgot about it. So there's some decisions that I have to make, and I'm gonna post a video to talk about it and try to get some thoughts from you all about it, because I'm just it's tough me being so close to all these designs, and it just being me making decisions. I get kind of like it becomes like a source of stress and anxiety and frustration sometimes when I'm like thinking about all these things I'm working on, I've worked on, and stuff that's ready to go, and it's not going, and what the fuck, and makes me insane. And I need some opinions, some thoughts. I my brain is far too active to allow it to be to allow it off the chain and let it go wild, which is what happens all too often. So all right, enough with that. All right, guys, well, I hope you dug it. I'll probably get somebody asking me to build them one, and I'll probably say yes. Anyway, thanks.